Welcome back to Rewind Rewatch. I am Andrene.
And I'm Joel.
And we are siblings who are rewatching 90s movies and discussing how well they have aged. We'll be talking about any themes that stood out, plot points, any quotes, and then at the end of the episode, we'll be giving a rewind rating between 1 and 5. We have been basically reviewing movies that you all have suggested, and we decided to switch it up this week. Well, at least I did, and do an animated film. So this week we will be doing Rugrats from 1998.
The Rugrats movie.
Yes, the movie, not the TV show. This movie is rated G, of course. It's 1 hour and 19 minutes, and this has been requested by Jeremy.
Shout out to Jeremy.
Shout out. So the first thing I wanted to ask you was, Joel, when you think about the Rugrats, like, is this a show that you liked? Did you watch a lot of it? Like, what are your thoughts on Rugrats, the TV show in general?
Well, yeah, I did like it. I feel like growing up, we had cable inconsistently. So there were periods where we had it and periods where we did not. So it wasn't a show that I watched religiously because it was on Nickelodeon. I feel like it's a show that was entertaining, but a lot of it probably went over my head. I've watched some episodes as an adult. I think a lot of the Nickelodeon shows are on like Hulu, or they might be on Paramount Plus now. But like watching like Rugrats or even Doug to some extent, but Rugrats specifically, obviously the main characters are all babies. Right. So their entire world only exists in their own heads, while the adults, and even Angelica, who's like 3, they're actually kind of living in a more realistic world. And the interesting thing about this show is the way that they kind of infuse the two of those things. I feel like watching this show as a child, I would kind of just like tune out all of the scenes with the adults because I wasn't here to watch them anyway. And most of whatever they were talking about, I probably didn't really understand.
Right.
And now, like, if I watch episodes of Rugrats, I'm like, oh, like, they're actually, like, having this suggestion or they're talking about these things. And even in this movie, this comes up just in terms of just, like, financial security is a whole conversation.
Yeah.
And, like, sibling rivalry and there's a number of things. Pregnancy and how do you talk to your kids about having a baby. So, yeah, I think that was, like, my biggest memory of Rugrats from when I was a child was usually just like Tommy was the man, Chucky was soft, and Angelica was annoying. Like that was really all I really remembered.
Not Chucky was soft.
Nah, that was his whole character. It's like, oh, I'm scared of everything. So then it was like, yeah, Chucky's kind of like he wasn't really a character that you would like really associate yourself with as a kid because he was kind of like the punk of the group.
He was just
I don't think that's
afraid.
what they were going for.
Yeah.
But that was my reading of the show when I was 6 and 7 years old.
So I remember really liking Angelica.
Which is diabolical. Because she's clearly a bully.
Well, I think I just like the fact that it was like, this girl who was just fed up with these babies. Like, she didn't understand, like, why they didn't know what she knew. And maybe it's the fact that I was like the older sibling. And so for me,
and
it was
you were
like,
also a bully?
I wouldn't go that far.
Well.
But, being the eldest, it's like, there's things that I know that like you as the young baby, or as she would say, dumb babies, like you don't know. And so she would always kind of just like try to educate them and be like, well, you guys think blah, blah, but actually this. But watching it back now, like you watch it and you're like, Angelica, you don't know what you're talking about at all.
No,
but she thought she did.
Because she's a toddler. So then it's like, you are actually also a baby.
But she's an older baby. So to her, it's like, I've heard more whisperings about things than you babies have. Because, like, you see her, like, she's watching TV, she's watching different things, whereas the babies are kind of just playing make-believe all the time. So at least she's like getting whisperings of correct information. She just not is, maybe she's not applying it correctly, but
So I looked this up because I was trying to make sense of, I guess I could do the one sentence summary here because this is actually going into what I was just about to say. But in this movie, in one sentence, is about Tommy's parents are having a baby, and he and his friend group are trying to reconcile with the changes that will bring.
Right.
So as I'm watching this movie and Tommy's brother gets born, I was trying to make sense of how far apart they were and like what the difference is in terms of their development. So I was looking up like how old is Tommy in Rugrats? So Tommy's supposed to be 1, and then Angelica's supposed to be 3.
Yeah.
So Tommy again is still very much a baby, but it's basically like they now have 2 babies. And then Angelica is 3, so she's like on the edge of pre-K. She can walk around by herself. She can talk, but she still is very much dependent on her parents. And her parents are very... You can see how she becomes who she is through who her parents are. Particularly her mom.
Her mom is about business. Every time you see her, she's on a cell phone. She's trying to make deals happen. She got a power suit on. Yeah. Mom is definitely a professional. And so Angelica's mom is basically brothers with Chucky's dad, Stu. So they're cousins.
Wait, I thought that was Angelica's dad. Because isn't that the whole, like, brothers having a rivalry thing? Isn't his brother Angelica's dad?
Isn't that, what did I say?
You said his mother is Angelica's, sorry. Maybe I'm confusing it. So.
Her father.
Yeah, her father.
Is brothers with with Tommy's father.
Yes. Okay.
So
Tommy's father's name's Stu. I don't remember what Angelica's dad's name is.
I don't remember either. I just know it's Angelica's dad. But yeah, I definitely, watching it as an adult, first of all, as a kid, I had no idea they were related. I just remember a bunch of kids that just hung out at Tommy's house. Like, I didn't even peep the fact that was his cousin.
Yeah.
And it seems as though, like, Chucky is just, like, one of the friends. Like, I guess one of the kids in the neighborhood. So is Phil and Lil. Like, they all... Maybe it's one of those situations where it's like, you know how, parents will share responsibilities with the kids. So like, this day I'll pick them up and, carpool them and then I'll babysit them. So from what I got, it seemed as if all the kids just tend to be at one person's house at once. Is kind of how I read into it, watching it now. But when you think about Stu Pickles, Tommy's dad, he kind of reminded me of the dad from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yep.
Because he's all about these crazy inventions that don't really go anywhere, but he is trying so hard to come up with that one thing that is going to take off and, make him money. And there's a whole conversation he has with his brother about the fact that Joel said, he has no insurance, he has no savings, he has a new baby on the way.
We're talking about a real job, Stu, with benefits. I'm not going to waste my life as a clock-punching, paper-pushing, bean-counting... Oh, no offense. You barely make ends meet now. You've got no insurance, no savings, and another kid on the way. For your information, bro, I am working on something right now that is going to put this branch of the Pickles family on easy street. What is it this time, huh? An electric sponge? Of course not. That was last year.
And he comes up with this new invention called the Reptar Wagon. It's supposed to be the perfect children's toy. And it looks like... it's kind of like a child's vehicle, but the vehicle is shaped like a dinosaur. And it's supposed to be a toy that, kids can get into. They can drive around the house. And it does a lot of cool things. And as the movie progresses, like, the kids end up riding around in it. And I started thinking to myself, like, this dad is actually low-key a genius because this Reptar wagon is pretty amazing.
So I think this is the whole...
You disagree?
No, I don't disagree necessarily. I think it's a little bit nuanced, right? Like that. I think this is the whole thing about Stu Pickle is like, you mentioned Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Rick Moranis' character who has like all these crazy ideas. When you're making inventions, obviously you're going to like fail a bunch of times before you actually make one that hits. And I think the main debate in this movie amongst him and his brother is like, bro, like you're not making enough money and you have another child coming now. You need more financial security. Presumably his brother and his brother's wife certainly have professional jobs. So they're doing a lot better, and it's unclear exactly what Stu's wife does. She's also 9 months pregnant when this movie starts, so there's no conversation about her job. But the fact of the matter is that he is not really supporting his family well enough financially and is kind of waiting on an invention to take off and be successful in order to kind of get his big payday. And so I wonder if, like, how do you divide between Stu's brother being too hard on him versus like, hey, your brother's actually being realistic and maybe you need to just get a job?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I absolutely think the brother is correct because, you know, like, this is a pressing issue. Your child is basically coming any day now. So, yes, he should be working a real job and perhaps working on these inventions on the weekend. That might make a little bit more sense as something you could still do on the side in hopes that one of these inventions hit. Because, again, of course, if one does hit, you're pretty much set. You know, if you can sell it and it becomes successful, you're good. But that's also a really big gamble because there's no guarantee that whatever it is you make is actually going to go anywhere. Even if it is brilliant, even if it does work, it may not sell. So, yeah.
You have a whole family and you have no financial security.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree with the brother on this one. I'm just saying, like, as the movie progresses and you watch this Raptor wagon and all the things it can do, I was like, this thing is actually pretty dope. That's what I remember thinking to myself.
Even his failed invention with the,
the
bird
paragliding
/ pterodactyl, the little paragliding bird thing. That ends up like kind of helping him save the day towards the end. So, yeah, I mean, he definitely has a head on his shoulders and he has a nose for inventing things, but he just has yet to kind of get his big break. Yeah,
that's fair enough. So the movie starts off, like you said, Tommy's mom is big pregnant. Baby's due any day, and they're having this baby shower. And it's at the baby shower that Angelica tells Tommy, like, I mean, this new baby's about to come, and when it comes, your parents are going to forget all about you because they're going to give all their love to the baby, and basically you're going to be left out in the cold. So Tommy already kind of has this negative feeling towards his baby brother or sister who's not even born yet.
But how does she know this? Because she doesn't even have siblings. So
she's older, man. Stop.
Angelica's just a terrorist, bro. Like this is the moral of the Angelica is I'm a terrorist.
Maybe she's seen it from other kids in nursery. I don't know. But she's like, yeah.
She don't even know.
Or maybe she just wants to bug him because it's her baby cousin.
Yeah, she likes messing with them.
I mean, so here's the thing. Speaking as the oldest, right? Oh, I remember when you were younger, I used to tell you all the time that, like, your real mommy and daddy didn't love you. You were adopted. I said one day, me, mommy, and daddy were at home, and there was a knock on the door. And then when we opened it, you were on our doorstep because your parents didn't love you.
So you are also a terrorist, which is why you think what Angelica's doing is normal. It's not normal.
It is normal. Listen, listeners, if you are an older sibling, let us know.
If you were a terrorist who defends the acts of terrorism.
If you used to, tell your younger siblings lies about, where they came from or who loves them. I mean, this is part of the job.
It's what we do.
It's what we do. It's part of the job.
It's not part of the job. It's crazy.
So anyway, so now Tommy and his friends are thinking like, okay, this kid is coming. It's gonna ruin the day. But like, we gotta figure out what's going on. So at the party, while they're there, the mom goes into labor. And they got to go to this hospital. And, like, this hospital was super high-tech. Like,
not to mention, before we leave the baby shower, we get a small cameo from Susie Carmichael.
I know, I wanted more of her.
The black character in the Rugrats world. And she's trying to give a solo to sing about the baby that's coming. Angelica sees her from inside the house. She looks out the window and sees Susie singing, and all the parents are loving it. She goes outside just to butt in and basically sabotage the solo.
A baby is lots of joy. A baby will get all the toys. What are you doing? A baby has a smiley face. A baby is from outside space. Angelica, Susie. A baby is extra fancy. A baby poops in his panties.
This is terrorism. Like, she's not, like, there's no defending Angelica's actions.
Okay, for this part,
this
absolutely.
is an awful person.
No, I absolutely agree with this part. Yeah, I didn't like that. I was like, yo, let Susie have her shine. And she came out, started changing the words to the song, tried to sing over her. And she's like, Angelica, stop. Let me do my thing. But Angelica, she's a showstopper, or at least she thinks she is.
I will say, as someone who, like, when you meet Angelica's parents, you're kind of like, oh, okay. Like, I remember being a classroom teacher, and some kids would just give you hell. And then sometimes you meet the parents, and you're like, oh, this is what happened. And especially with children, the younger they are particularly, I feel like you can see the influence that the parents have on them. Whether or not the parents themselves even see it, which is another conversation. But yeah, I think she's definitely being raised a certain way, and that's probably why she ends up being a terrorist.
Okay, okay. Anyway, so they go back to this hospital.
The hospital's like an airport.
It's large, yes. It also has like these arrival. It does kind of remind me of like the arrival and departure signs at the airport, because on the board it says like the name of the mom. It's like, oh, like Patty, and then it says like arrival for like when the baby comes. Like
it even said who was late.
Yeah.
But so this hospital is supposed to be like some new age type of maternity hospital. Like, it's a maternity specific hospital. That's the only thing they do there is deliver babies. But it's supposed to be like some sort of new age type of environment for giving birth. So they have like different rooms with different themes, where you could have like an underwater birth, or you could give birth like you're in a farm and you're surrounded by dirt and cows and stuff like that.
It's very bizarre. Yeah, it's like birthing alternatives that are available there. And so they had this plan to have a certain type of birth. And when they get there, they basically place all of the toddlers in this like playpen area, and they instruct, the grandfather to watch the kids. And this grandfather is absolutely terrible at watching the children.
He's a waste man.
Because all he does is sleep. Like, every single time they're like, oh, Dad, watch the kids. He's like, yeah, got them. They put the kids in there, and within seconds, the kids have, broken down the gate that's holding them in, and they're wandering the hospital by themselves. So they see Tommy's mom being wheeled into the back, and, of course, she's in labor, so she's clearly in distress. They can see it. And they're like, yo, Tommy, what's going on? Something's wrong with your mom. Maybe they losted the baby. Maybe they can't find the baby. So they're like, yo, we got to find the baby so that my mom, will feel better. And so they start wandering around they start wandering around the hospital, and they find like the nursery where all the babies are. And like this nursery scene, I was like, what in the world? They walk in, and there's a bunch of newborns, as you know, like, in their cribs, and the babies start singing, the song about basically being born.
So this is the world?
I miss my old womb.
This wallpaper here just ain't the same.
This world is something strange.
Yo, I'm cold. I need a change. This world is something new to me.
The song is just like full of jokes and lines that are going to go way over any child's head. And I really enjoy that. Like, for instance, they have like one baby who's talking about like complaining that they cut their umbilical cord, and then another baby like pulls down their diaper and it's like, consider yourself lucky because they didn't cut off his penis. It's just like a lot of like little jokes there where you're just,
Or he just got
like,
circumcised.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's how I read it. Like, oh, all they did was cut your umbilical cord. They cut more from me.
Oh, see, it went over my head.
I mean, I really like this scene because I thought it was this interesting concept of something that I never really thought about before, right? Like this whole concept of like how uncomfortable it must be to be a newborn.
Oh God,
right?
yeah.
Like you never really think about what's happening for a baby. You're just more so concerned about making sure they get fed, making sure that you clean their diaper.
Mm-hmm.
And as an adult, you're thinking more about like what you have to do.
Right.
But I think like this song that they had in this movie was like kind of, it stood out to me as like, what must this experience be like for them? I'm just like, what's happening? Like everything's changing. It's mad bright in here. I no longer am being fed continuously. I'm cold. I'm hot. And you're also just trying to like make sense of being alive.
Yeah, that's gotta be really terrifying.
But you can't communicate yet. So then it's just like, what's happening?
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's why they cry all the time. Because like, can you imagine?
Because that's all they can do though.
It's like, I was in this nice, warm, wet environment. Now I'm in the freezing cold. It's like, it's bright, it's loud. My diaper's dirty. I'm hungry. Like, I'm tired. Whatever it is, like all I can do is scream about it. So the babies go in there, they're looking around, and obviously, like, they can't find the sibling because that's not how this works. And Grandpa eventually finds them and takes them up out of there. And I can't think to myself,
this hospital needs better security.
Well, there's cameras
have a bunch of people crawling into the newborn section. That's not.
The cameras see them, but no one from the staff even bothers to come in to check because there's cameras in the room.
That's
so
true.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. But eventually, Tommy's mom has the baby. They thought it was going to be a girl, but it ended up being a boy. And they name him Dill Pickles. Well, it's actually Dylan, but they call him Dill Pickles. And of course, that's such a cute name because obviously Dill Pickles. And so, now Tommy meets his little brother. And I feel like initially when he meets him, there wasn't too much hatred, but then when they go back to the house, Dill, as you know, is a newborn, and so he's just crying, like, just persistently for like 4 weeks.
Parents aren't getting any sleep.
Yeah,
It's
crying. And so eventually, as he gets a little bit older, a couple weeks older, the parents are able to like sing him a song and rock him back and forth, and eventually he falls asleep. And you see the parents like finally like tucking him in, rocking him sleep, and then Tommy is singing a song to himself and then basically cries himself to sleep in the closet while the parents are putting Dill to bed in the crib. And I'm like, bro, did they forget they had another kid?
Well, the whole thing is Tommy's dad is actually reading him a bedtime story, but then once Dylan starts crying, his mom is like stressed out. She asks the dad to help. And they're like, he kind of like puts down the book and goes to tend to the brother. So it's kind of like, Angelica's prophecies coming true.
Mm-hmm.
And now I am the first child that's being ignored as the second child comes.
Right.
And so also because Dylan is a newborn and he's a lot of work and he's a crier, he's basically sucking all of the parents' attention away so that Tommy is basically, because he's not requiring as much of their attention, he's getting less of it.
Yeah.
And so he starts to feel neglected.
Yeah. That scene was very sad. I was like, oh, poor Tommy Tom.
Tom.
He cries himself, like, but he's like literally left in the closet and he just like falls asleep in there. I was like, oh.
So this is when he's like, yo, having a brother's kind of trash. And he starts beefing with him. And they get into this whole like back and forth over Tommy's favorite blanket.
Mm-hmm.
That his brothers like won't let go of. And they start yelling and screaming and they're trying to pull the blanket back from each other. And Tommy's dad, Stu, comes to kind of like break them up. And he has this very touching scene with Tommy where he talks to him about how important it is to be an older brother, the responsibility that it has. He shows him a picture of himself and his brother when they were younger. And he talks to him about responsibility, with which Tommy confuses for responsibility because he doesn't know what it means. And he gives him this, I think it's like a family heirloom.
Yeah.
This pocket watch. So when he talks to him about having responsibility, Tommy thinks responsibility is the pocket watch.
Yeah.
And I'm also wondering, why would you give a family heirloom to a 1-year-old?
I was thinking the same thing.
Because
I was like, he's going to lose that.
He seems a little young. He probably doesn't even understand what you're saying to him.
Which
like,
we know he doesn't.
Wait till he's 5. Wait till he's 6. But like, yeah. At this point, you take them apart and put him in another room. Like, that's all you could really do.
Yeah,
but
he's one.
He tries to have this. It is a very nice scene for what it's worth. It's completely unrealistic, but it's a nice scene.
He's like, you got to take care of your little brother. You're the big brother now. And then he's like, oh, okay. And so it's like, but the words from his dad does resonate with him. Later on in the movie, he is able to, because I mean, there's times throughout this movie where he just cannot stand Dill. Like, so let's get into, like, I guess all the hijinks, right? So the dad, Stu, like we said before, has this new invention that he's trying to market. And it's a perfect children toy. He decides they're going to send it to Japan. And it's supposed to be packaged up and shipped out today. For some reason, he's not actually there when the delivery people come. But of course, they have the grandfather again watching the kids, quote unquote watching, because all he's doing is sleeping. And the kids are playing around in this Reptar wagon. And somehow they're like beefing with Angelica. The Reptar wagon ends up going out the front door, and the kids are now just like coasting down the street in this Reptar wagon. There's a mix-up that occurs, and so when the shipping people come to ship out the toy, they end up taking the wrong thing. They leave out, and so when Dad returns, it looks like the shipping company has left with the kids and the Reptar wagon in the box. And of course, Mom is not there, so he's freaking out because he's like, "Oh, I lost the kids." And now they're
Grandpa just sleep.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what happened? Like,
Come
on, bro.
He's terrible. He's absolutely
there
terrible.
are like 5 kids in this house. They're all under the age of 3.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, Grandpa's been sleeping since like the beginning of the movie. So I feel like
maybe
it's really
don't leave the kids with Grandpa.
Yeah, it's really Dad's fault that this even happened, if we're being honest. So the kids end up, running down the road. It's a whole situation, and they end up lost in the woods. That's where they end up with this toy.
And we get some music from Busta Rhymes in the middle of this movie, which I was not expecting to hear. I was like, what is going on? Is Busta Rhymes in this Rugrats movie?
What are we doing and where we gonna go fast when the blow dry your ass? Get out the fast lane as if you're moving too. On your marks, get set, ready.
Well, do you know why we get music from Busta Rhymes?
He's a big Rugrats fan?
He is the voice of the Reptar wagon.
That's amazing. Rah, rah, like a dungeon dragon. That's perfect. Yo, shout out to Busta Rhymes.
So that's why. So that's why.
That's amazing. That's even better than, I just thought they just wanted him on the soundtrack, which I thought was just an odd pairing. But yeah, that does make more sense.
I mean, we also had the whole "Take Me There" with Maya. Take me there.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, they were jamming on Rugrats. They were jamming. So they're out in the woods now, and while they're there, the kids are kind of beefing because on the one hand, Tommy knows he's supposed to look out for his little brother, and Dill is he's a baby, so he literally can't do anything. Although, like, I like throughout the movie, there are certain times where, like, Dill can say, like, parts of certain words. So it's like Tommy can kind of communicate with Dill on a very limited level. And the kids end up, like, Phil and Lil cannot stand Dill.
They're over it.
Like, at all.
They're like, can we just leave this baby in the woods and go back home? Like, why do we even have to keep having him?
Literally, like, they literally want to leave him in the woods.
They're asking Tommy, like, but what if you just don't have a brother anymore?
And the reason why they hate him so much is because, like, all he does is cry. He just makes noise. He doesn't talk. He's basically just a nuisance. He can't take care of himself. And we get to remember, like, they are all toddlers. So it's like, I can barely take care of myself, and now you want me to also take care of this baby? Like, I didn't sign up for this. I don't want to do it. And then not to mention, Dill is a baby in the sense that, like, he doesn't want to share anything. So it's like there's a scene where, like, they have like one bottle and Tommy and Dill are both hungry, and Dill basically just guzzles the entire bottle and gives nothing to Tommy because it's
crazy.
like, I'm a baby and I'm hungry.
It's supposed to be chug pass. Come on, bro. You messing up the bottle rotation.
He's like, I'm hungry and I'm a baby. And so they're like, yo, he's mad selfish. He is helpless. Like, what is even the point of having this thing around? And he's mad loud. Like, What are we even doing?
He's ruining the vibe, bro.
Yeah. So at some point, these monkeys show up, and like the whole thing with the monkeys was so out of control. Like, they escaped from a circus apparently, and the monkeys are in the woods.
Yeah, the circus is on a train. I'm not sure why there's a circus train. I'm not sure what other trains even run on these tracks. But the conductors of the train they stop to go get some coffee, and the monkeys escape and basically, like, drive the train away, and then they crash. So all the monkeys basically just escape from the train, and they're just running wild in the woods.
Man,
so these are all circus monkeys.
So watching this, I could not help but think of Jumanji. Because
they probably look the same. Probably had the same animation.
Oh no. Because in that movie, the monkeys were like, riding on motorcycles and driving police cars and shooting shotguns. So there's something about monkeys that just, like, they wreak havoc, but it's like they're so quick, you can't really stop them. They're out of control. And so while they're out in the woods, the babies have these jars of baby food, and they have, like, banana flavor, and they call them nanners, nana flavored. And so, of course, the monkeys smell this banana flavored food and they want it. And so they come around, they're trying to steal the food. They're wreaking havoc. They're grabbing their toys, they're grabbing all these things. And at one point, the monkeys end up grabbing Dill. And when they do so, Chucky basically asks his friends to, like, help him make sure that they don't take their brother. And they don't do so. Phil and Lil don't do so.
No.
The monkeys basically just kidnap Dill. So now Tommy's sitting there. So Chucky is his bestest friend, and he basically, like, appeals to Chucky. He's like, "Yo, I gotta go get my brother." Now, while they're in the woods, the kids are thinking, like, we gotta figure out how we can get back home, and so they're thinking about the story of the Wizard of Oz. And instead of the Wizard of Oz, they're thinking, like, the Lizard of Oz. Mm-hmm. So they're off to see the Grand Lizard so that they can make a wish, and the lizard will basically return them back home. That's how they think they can get out of this, is going to see the lizard in the woods. And so Tommy's, like, trying to deviate from this plan by saying, like, I'm going to chase down these monkeys to get my brother. And they're like, bruh, that was not the deal. We want to go back home. I miss my mommy. I'm hungry. Like, this is not it. So he appeals to Chucky, and Chucky's like, I thought you were my best friend, but, like, you're not really, because earlier they had a whole situation where the Raptor toy ends up falling into the water, and Chucky thought he was going to drown, which he did not. But when it happened, it was like Chucky and Dill both almost went off the side. And when it happened, Tommy reached out and he saved his brother instead of saving Chucky. So now Chucky feels betrayed because it's like, I thought you were my boy, but like when I almost drowned, you didn't save me.
And it's also the fact that Chucky is always like helpless in these situations. And Tommy's the brave baby that always comes to his rescue. So that's kind of a part of their dynamic as friends.
Yeah.
So that's also why he's feeling like, oh, like, I almost sold like I always sell, but you didn't come and save me like you always do. So now you're switching it up, bro. Like, this is not, this is what we do.
Right. So it's like, why am I going to help you with your stupid brother? Like, nah, I'm good. So this is when they
drowned.
Yeah. But then he's about to drown. He's like, oh, and he goes to stand up and realizes the water is like at his ankles. Like, it's not deep at all, which is actually pretty funny. So they split up. So now Chucky, Phil, and Lil are going to find the lizard. And then Tommy goes off to find the monkeys to find his brother. He finds them relatively quickly, and he's able to get his brother back. And while they're together, it's like Tommy starts off trying to want to take care of him. He's like, okay, it's time to go to sleep. Let's get this blanket. Let's lay down. But you have to remember Dill is a baby, so Dill doesn't want to share anything. So it's cold outside. It's raining. They find a little cave, and Tommy's trying to like get them both under this little blankie, and Dill's like, mine. He takes all the blankets, rolls over, and it's kind of just like in his own little spot. And Tommy gets mad because it's like, bro, like I'm actually trying to help you out because you're a dumb baby, but like I need half of this blanket. They start fighting. The blanket rips in half, and now Tommy's fed up. He's like, bro, I'm tired. I'm hungry. And I'm cold.
I'm abandoned in the woods as a 1-year-old baby. I'll also say at one point in the film, when they're out in the woods, I think, Dill messes up his diaper and Tommy changes it. And I was like, this 1-year-old baby knows how to change a diaper? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's like, we got to change him.
It's like, how do you know how to do this?
And it was all about having that. I mean, luckily they had the diaper bag with them because they had snacks and all types of stuff in there. I will say that Tommy is definitely more brave than adults that I know.
And resourceful.
The fact that they're lost in the woods overnight or almost overnight, and he doesn't really panic at all. If you think about it, Tommy's only thing was like, I gotta find my brother, and then when he got him, it was like, well, let's just stay here and hunker down until the morning. But like, not at one point, he never like panics. He never loses it and like starts to have a panic attack or cry. I was like, yo,
Tommy's the man.
He is brave.
Tommy's the man. Tommy never panics.
He is brave. So eventually, he gets tired of Dill. They start fighting, and he's like, bro, you're mad selfish. Like, I never wanted a baby brother to, like, forget you. So earlier on in the movie, there's a part where Chucky is trying to throw the nanner baby food away to kind of get the monkeys away from his friends. But when he does so, the wind blows the baby food into Chucky's face, and we see how, like, all the monkeys basically pile onto Chucky to get the banana flavor. So Tommy remembers this, and he's like, yo, Dill is mad trash. I don't care about him. The monkeys can go ahead and take him. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour this banana baby food on top of my brother's head. He's going to smell like bananas, and the monkeys will come and take him away. End of my problem. So there's a scene where, like, he's holding Dill down with one hand. He has the opened banana baby food in one hand, and he's getting ready to pour it over his brother's head. And it was like very reminiscent of a scene where like you have someone and you're about to like stab them or knock them over a head with a rock. You know what I mean? Like
death by baby food.
Yeah, it was very much like this is the moment where I kill my brother, like Cain and Abel or something. And he's getting ready to do it, but then he sees like Dill looks up at him with like a tear, and he's like, Tom, like Tommy? And he's like, oh, Dill, like, you're my brother. I can never. And then he decides, like, okay, I'm not gonna do death by baby food. I'm not gonna do it. They make up, and they decide, I'm gonna be a good brother. So he goes back and he gets his sponsibility little watch that his dad gave him, and
which he thinks is a compass, by the way. He doesn't even
Oh
realize
my
it's a watch.
God.
He
The
thinks it's a
whole movie-
compass because I think he saw it on TV somewhere.
Yeah.
So he keeps pointing it in different directions and thinking it's telling him where to go, but it's just pointed at 12 o'clock. So wherever he points it, it's just like, oh, I guess we're supposed to go this way. It's like, all right.
But again, what I love about Tommy is like the whole movie, he was so confident.
Yeah. This
He
is
was
why
so
everybody follows Tommy, because the other
confident.
babies also they feed off of his confident swagger, and they're like, oh, like this man's a leader.
Yeah. So he's like, it says this way, let's go.
Yeah,
And he
let's
knows
go. Like when he
that's the
says,
way-
when Tommy says, let's go, we out. This is what Chucky's been waiting for the whole time. Like, yeah, tell me what to do, bro.
Yeah, so they end up like reuniting again as far as those kids. Now, so there's kind of like a side story here with Angelica, because like Angelica is trying to find them because one of them has
Her
doll Cynthia,
Yeah.
with the crazy hair. That doll is not attractive at all. She wants her Cynthia doll, so she's trying to find their stupid baby so she can get them. But I found myself like not really enjoying her scenes. Like,
Nah, Angelica's trash. But they had to put her in the movie. So it's like, because the whole thing is you're taking the babies out of their house,
yeah,
which usually the show takes place at home. So we can't just not have Angelica in the story. So they kind of had to shoehorn her in it.
yeah. It just felt like this is not really necessary. Like the whole
No.
thing with like, it's like, oh,
No,
she
we
had this
didn't really
dog
need it.
Spike. Yeah, so I feel like every time I went back to Angelica, I was like, can we get back to the babies? Because this is not really holding my attention.
I mean, Spike came up at the end, though. Spike came through at the end.
He did. He helped them with that. Was it a wolf?
It was a wolf. A whole wolf came and tried to. The wolf almost ate Angelica.
It sure did. That thing had been like scouting them for a while though, like in the forest. You could see like it would howl in the distance and it was closing in on them the whole time. And what I liked about it is like I said before, like the fact that Tommy was just kind of like, I'm out here, I'm about to do this thing, we're good to go. The kids end up finding, well, they end up trying to figure out where this lizard is, right? After they get Dill back, all the kids are together. They're riding in this toy that Stu has designed. And when the wolf ends up, trying to get them, like you said before, the dog is able to save them. And the dog, they're on this like dilapidated like bridge of some sort.
Yeah.
And so when the dog goes to save them, the wolf and the dog both fall through one of the planks, which we believe like down to their demise. And when this happens, Stu has been trying to find his children. He uses one of these failed, so you say, invention, like this hang gliding thing, and he finds the kids, and he, in an attempt to land, ends up crashing like into this building.
I did say it was a failed invention.
He did crash, and so they see him, but the way that it's set like a bird and it's sitting up, they think that this is the lizard of the woods. So they're like, "Oh, we reached the lizard. Like Tommy was right all along. Let's just go ahead and ask for our wish, and we can go back home." Now, originally the plan was we're gonna wish to go back home, but in the last minute, the dog had just died, and like the kids are distraught. They're all crying, and so
That's
Tommy,
Spike's part of the family.
yeah. So Tommy yells at the wizard from the bridge. He's like, "We have one wish." And he's like, "We just wish that, Spike would come back." And when he says it, we realize the dad like ends up falling through the bridge with his hang glider thing. And he lands like on a plank towards the bottom. And as he lands there, you see the dad and then you see Spike. And it's like Spike is alive. And then minutes later, the parents end up figuring out where the kids are. They show up with like the park rangers, and they're able to.
And Rex Pester. Don't forget about Rex Pester.
Rex Pester.
My man.
How do you describe Rex Pester?
Rex Pester is like many of the other journalists we've seen in other movies that we've covered, whether that be Scream or Urban Legend or some of these other movies with opportunist journalists. he's basically just there for the mess. So he finds out that this house in the neighborhood basically lost a bunch of babies. And so he's on the scene as the newsman with very large teeth that are like too big for his head. Like he's supposed to look like this like over the top broadcast journalist.
And there you have it. 2 sour pickles and young Tammy, baby Dale, the twins Bill and Jill, little Chunky, and poor Amelia, all vanished without a trace. I'm Rex Pester, and I'll be back with more big action news.
And
Right.
I'm Rex Pester on the scene. So he's basically gets in one of his news choppers to kind of follow into the woods to figure out what's going on. And I think at one point, Stu flies into their chopper.
Oh, I think, yeah.
Right? When he's trying to get to his kids, he like ends up flying into the chopper and they spin out and crash. They don't crash and burn, but they kind of just crash in the woods. So then when we see Rex at the end of the movie, he's like wearing like a brace or something.
He's all bandaged up. He looks like a hot mess.
But he's still on the scene, getting the
on the
story.
scene.
Rex Pester.
So I feel like when you think about the the interviews that were happening, so after the kids go missing, of course, people call the cops, people call the news crews, and everyone's out there, you know, trying to get interviews. And there were a couple of parts that were really funny, like, so you know, like their name is, you know, the Pickles. And so one of the newscasters got like a mic in Stu Pickles' face and was like, "How many pickled peppers did you pick?"
Well, when they report the children is missing, some police come by the house to inquire about what happened. And this one cop is interviewing the parents, and they're like, "Ma'am, did your son have any enemies, any underworld or mob connections?" And she's like, "He's a 1-year-old baby."
There was so much, that part. And then another woman said, "Did a dingo eat your baby?"
That's crazy.
I was like, yo, they're wilding. They're wilding. But yeah, again, all these little things were like, as a child, you're not going to get any of this. But it was very enjoyable. And this is a G rating. So like they were able to get a lot of things in that they don't ever actually say, of course, any bad words. Like even when, before Tommy's mom has the baby, they're not really sure what the sex of the baby is. The mom believes it's going to be a girl. And at the baby shower, they have like this betting going on. And I believe they were talking to Angelica's mom. And it's like, you know, what do you think? Maybe it wasn't her. It may have been someone else. It may have been Chucky's mom. But someone said like, well, you know, if they're born under Venus, look for a. But of course, they stopped right there. They don't actually say
then her
word.
cell phone rings.
Yeah, it was Angelica's mom. Yeah. So that was funny. And then I also think about earlier on, they're at the house and Angelica's being dropped off by her dad. This is before her father has that conversation with Stu Pickles about his finances and what he's going to do. And he walks in and she sees her uncle and she's like, "Hey, where's the pony?" And he's like, "Pony? We don't have a pony, Angelica." And she's like, "What? But Mom said that Aunt Didi got salad with a loser." And it's like, that's not what she was talking about, bro.
Well, he's like, "What?" Yeah, that's crazy.
There's just a lot of stuff in here that I was just laughing to myself. I'm like, yeah, this is a lot of fun for sure. So yeah, the kids end up being saved, and at that point, it's kind of like Tommy has embraced his role as the bigger brother. At this point, I mean, they've gone through.
Yeah, they had a whole
pretty crazy.
They had a whole adventure together. They got lost in the woods together.
And it's funny because the very first scene, you see them, and they have like this imagined adventure where they're doing. It's almost like a Indiana Jones. Yeah, where it's like they're going to like this cave and they're trying to get something off of the top shelf in the fridge, but they can't quite reach it. But then at the end, once they've now they have little Dill.
He's a part
he's
of
the
the
very
gang
top
now.
of the pyramid, and so now they're able to like get that, you know, that top item off the top shelf, and he's a great addition to the crew, and it works out.
And it works out.
Yeah, it was very cute. It was very
Shout
very
out
cute.
to Dill.
Shout out to Dill. Were there any other quotes that stood out to you?
There's a part where Angelica's with Spike, and I don't know if they're in the woods at this point, but he does something. He's like trying to run too fast, and she's like, "You better watch out." Because he's almost about to like fall over, or he put them in danger in some way. I don't remember specifically what Spike did, but Angelica says to him, "You know, not all dogs go to heaven."
Another great movie. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I think I had one more. It was when they were going across that bridge when they hit a plank and Angelica goes flying out of the toy.
Yeah.
And Phil or Lil, one of them said, "I didn't know she could fly." And the other one said, "That's because she's a witch."
Well,
I was like, well, to those babies, yes.
He's not wrong.
I would have to agree with that. Okay.
So what about theme? Should I go first or?
Yeah, I think I went first last week. Yeah.
So I think the big theme here is about embracing change. You know, change is always scary. We fear change, but change has the potential to make life better. Which is basically evidenced through Tommy, the change of having this new family member, this new brother, this other baby in the house. And obviously a lot of the fear was instilled based on Angelica's words, but also his own experience. And then he learns over time to kind of embrace those changes for the better, which is kind of shown by the end with them being able to grab like the cookie jar off the top of the fridge.
Yeah, that's
and the whole crew has a new friend. So
they do have a new friend. And then I think, like, you know, on a more basic level, it's the idea that your siblings can become your friends. Because obviously, like, being the oldest, I remember when you first came on the scene, maybe not first, but I remember like being maybe like 8 and you were 6 and being like, "Yo, bro, this little boy is so annoying, man." Like, because when you're that young, it's like you're just trying to do everything that I'm trying to do. Like, you're trying to, you know, follow me and basically copy me. And then it's the whole idea of like, at some point I have to be responsible for this kid. Like, why do I have to make sure that he's in line? Like, why do I have to make sure that he's not touching anything?
Because you came first.
Yeah.
Them's the rules.
Because I came first. So, like, when you're younger, it's like, I feel like it's more of like an inconvenience almost, because you're like, oh my God, this other person is, you know, coming in and cramping my style. But then as you get older, it's like, oh, well, they're not actually so bad. And then it kind of grows from there to like, all right, I guess they're pretty cool. And then you kind of become, not always, obviously, but you can become friends with your siblings. Because, you know, I think I made you tough. And so I think I have something, I think I played a hand in you being who you are today.
Thanks.
In a positive way.
Thanks. Humble too.
Because, well, because I mean, like, think about
Taking
it. Like,
credit for my emotional development. That's crazy. I think I made you the man you are today. I know. Not to toot my own horn here.
No, I just feel like, you know, like when you're younger, like if you don't have siblings who can like tease you and like make you like, think about like if you didn't like have to come back and say something smart. It's like you're quick on your feet. You're able to like defend yourself. You're like, oh yeah, you think so? But blah, blah, blah. As opposed to if I was just like, yay, Joel all the time, you might be a different person. You might be a different person.
Yay, Joel.
Yay, Joel.
Yeah, maybe I would be.
You know? So, younger siblings, thank your older siblings today.
Okay. That's enough. That's enough of that PSA. Let's do some ratings.
What about the facts?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. So apart from having Busta Rhymes as a voice, there were a few other voices that stood out in this this movie. So apart from the actual people who normally play the voices on the TV show, so Lou Rawls,
You
Lisa
will never
Loeb,
find.
yep, Lisa Loeb and Lenny Kravitz were all shown in one of the newborn baby singing voice. That song that came on, we were talking about earlier in the nursery. They all were there. And then for the park rangers, we had Whoopi Goldberg and David Spade.
Oh, okay.
And for Rex Pester, your favorite news reporter, that was played by Tim Curry.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Tim
so
Curry. Yeah.
This movie was the first non-Disney animated movie to gross over $100 million at the box office, and it was Nickelodeon's first animated theatrical release.
Wow.
So they did really well. Rugrats is one of the 3 original Nicktoons. So it was Rugrats, Doug, and Ren and Stimpy. The first 3 that came out on Nickelodeon.
That makes sense. Yeah, that adds up.
For those of you who don't know, although 3 of the 4 main babies are male, all 4 are voiced by women.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So the woman who voices Chucky, her name is Christine Cavanaugh. She also voiced Dexter on Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh, nice. Yeah, she
Which
got
is
a
great.
bag.
Oh yeah.
She's
out here.
She got some nice characters in her arsenal.
In addition to voicing Tommy Pickles, the person who voiced, I thought I wrote her name down. I must have missed it. She actually, the same person voiced Tommy Pickles and also voiced Buttercup on the Powerpuff Girls.
Mm-hmm.
And also Babe the Pig.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes did the voice of Bam Bam on the Flintstones.
I don't even really remember Bam Bam talking, but maybe I didn't watch Flintstones enough.
Maybe it's just the cooing. Because think about it, even like Baby Coos, they have people who do that.
Yeah, I guess
so for instance, like Dill Pickles was voiced by Tara Strong. Like she does like a crazy like baby cry apparently, and she went on to voice a lot of different superheroes. She was on like Batgirl. She played also Powerpuff Girl. She did Bubbles. All in all, I think she did like 414 voiceovers or voice credits. So I mean, like these people like are voice actors.
Yeah, she know what she's doing. Cartoon voice acting is definitely her bread and butter.
And then just like a general Rugrats fact, in '89, Rugrats was created by the then husband and wife, Gaber Suspo and Arlene Klasky. At the time, they also were working on The Simpsons, and continued to work on it until 1992. So they were working on both Rugrats and The Simpsons for a couple of years, which is pretty interesting.
Hey, those are very different cartoons, but
yeah,
both very popular.
Different
very
but
successful.
popular. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was interesting to think that like all the babies were done by women.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fun. All right, time for the ratings.
Yeah, this was a cool movie. I don't know. It was pretty short. I think in my head, I remember seeing this the first time when it came out. I was in like 6th grade. Went with my friend Eric, who I used to hang out with a lot in 6th grade. We went to go see this, and I enjoyed it at the time. I had not seen it since, so this is only my second time watching the movie. And I remember when I had watched it originally, I remember feeling like there was a lot of like grown-up jokes that little kids wouldn't get. Granted, I'm only like 11 at this point myself. Watching it now as an actual adult, there probably weren't as many as I thought there were when I was watching it as a child. But there were a few in there. And yeah, it was, I feel like it had a good story, a good theme. Definitely caters more to a child's audience. So it wasn't like necessarily a kid's movie that I was significantly entertained by. There was some good stuff in there. I think now being older, like it's funny talking about how I used to always like ignore all the adult scenes, but now I found those scenes so fascinating because it's like, how do you infuse kind of this serious adult world in this very young casted show? So, it was a decent watch. It was not too long. It was entertaining enough, kind of seeing how they were going to get out of the woods. I don't know. I might go. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Joel, my brother,
Yes.
we are two alike.
Okay.
I just want to make a note here. I did look her up. Her name is Elizabeth Daly, and that's who voices Tommy Pickles. Just wanted to give her a shout out. So for me, yeah, I think a solid 3 works because the movie's good. I mean, the movie's pretty good. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing that didn't age well. There was no cringeworthy moments, but it's also, like you said, a rated G. So like, how much can you possibly do? It works as a good cartoon for kids. But you're right. For some reason, I went into it thinking there was more adult stuff that I didn't pick up on. But apart from like the finance stuff, there really wasn't much. And the Angelica storyline, like, I found that watching her as an adult, I didn't really enjoy her.
Yeah, I've been telling you Angelica's trash since we were kids. You just didn't understand it till now.
I just didn't. Maybe it's just this movie. Maybe if I watched the episode, it might be a little different.
Watch a few episodes of Rugrats and see if you change your mind.
But in this episode, I wasn't really feeling her or her story. So yeah, I think a 3 is good enough. It's decent film. I would be fine with any kid watching it. And but for me, I don't really feel inclined to watch it again.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's fine. 3. It's fine.
That seems fair. Again, let us know what your thoughts are, how many rewinds you would give to the Rugrats movie, and also you can continue to send us more of your recommendations. This was Andrene's pick, so I will be picking the film for next week's episode. And yeah, we'll continue to look out for suggestions and recommendations from you, the listeners. We appreciate all of the support that we've gotten thus far.
Hit us up.
Keep on rocking out.
I'll just give us the info real fast. Email rewindrewatch1990s @gmail, and then we're at the RR90s pod at most socials, or just look us up at Rewind Rewatch Podcast. As a reminder, if you're a listener and you're an older sibling, let us know if you used to torture your younger siblings. Boy. And if you did, let us know how you did it.
Terrorists unite.
All right. Later.